Today I am here in West Jordan at the subdivision Terraine, and I'm going to take you on a tour of this cute little subdivision that they say is like Park City and Daybreak having a baby. This would be it, and it's so true. But I'm also going to talk to you about something that could cost you thousands and thousands of dollars that you need to know about this subdivision when you buy in it. So make sure you stay tuned and let's jump into it. Okay, so where is Terraine? Terraine is located on the west side of town, off of Mountain View Corridor. So you're gonna be about 30 minutes to downtown Salt Lake City. You're gonna be really close, just south of Salt Lake International Airport. So if you are concerned about commuting time to downtown, this is a great option for you to stay in that 30-minute range. If you work up by the airport, the Amazon centers, anything like that, this is, again, a great location. Now, Terraine is going to have about 2,500 homes in it, and that is going to be single family homes and townhouses. As of right now, there is nothing planned for condos in Terraine. Terraine is going to be built on about 630 acres approximately out in West Jordan, and about 1/3 of that, over 200 acres, is going to be designated open space for the community. So that means things like trails, parks, gardens, meadows, things like that that are going to take up 1/3 of that community to have enjoyment for all of the residents in the area. Now, currently there are a few builders that are building in Terraine. You have Sago Homes, who is doing the townhouses. Your more luxury style builder, Rainy Homes. You have Ivory Homes, you have David Weekley Homes, and then you have some Tri-Point Homes. Now, they're a newer builder coming to Utah. They're in other parts of the country, like I know specifically they're in Phoenix, Arizona, and places like that. So at the time of this recording in March of 2026, they only had about 7 home lots left to sell in Terraine if you were looking specifically for Tri-Point. But the other builders, as you'll see in the video, there is so much building going on. They're not even close to that 2,500 homes, so there's going to be a lot of options available. Now, the one thing that really sticks out, and my drone pilot actually mentioned this when we were out in the community filming, is it's really quiet in the neighborhood. It feels very peaceful there. And, you know, you are a little bit set back. So like if you want to go to a grocery store, you know, it's going to be a good 10-minute drive for you. But if you love the peace and tranquility that the subdivision has, it's a great option. Now, you'll see in some of these drone shots that the West Jordan Temple is going in just behind it. So once that's built, who knows what will happen to the traffic. But one thing I can say is that home values typically go up being located near a temple, whether that's in Lehigh, Draper, anywhere else. They just do something for your home value, regardless of your religious beliefs. Value is what you're looking at. There's also going to be a future elementary school built in the front of Terraine, as you can see here. And then as you crest over the hill, that is future neighborhoods that will be going in for Terraine as well. And from the drone video, and I don't know this for a fact, it looks as though that is going to be the road that takes you to the West Jordan Temple. So people aren't going to be driving through the Terraine neighborhood, but I don't know that for sure, so don't hold me to that. Okay, so let's talk about some of the amenities before I jump into the HOA fees and the PID fees that this neighborhood has that I said at the beginning could cost you thousands of dollars that you need to be aware of. And I shouldn't say could, it will. Okay, so first, let's talk about this glass building. These are called lanterns, and they're going to be about 8 of them throughout the community. And residents are going to have a say of what they're going to be, but this first one here is just a glass building and it's designated as a library. Now, they are going to have one nearby that is going to be like a gardening shed by the community gardens, and then the other ones, who knows what those are going to be. You also are going to have the plunge, which is going to be a community pool area. And then there's the shed, which is like kind of like coffee shop, little hangout spot. You know, I was out here on a Sunday morning with my drone pilot and there was people sitting out front just sipping on their coffee and kind of just easing into their Sunday morning, which was really cool to see. And then you have the amphitheater where the stairs go up and takes you and connects onto the ribbon walk, which is the trail system for walking. And you might even see some people out on the trail in some of this drone video that they were out walking their dogs and stuff this Sunday morning. So just a really cool atmosphere of being outside, and much quieter, I will say, than Daybreak is. Okay, so let's talk about the fees. We're going to talk with the HOA fees first and then the PID fee second, because that's the big one. Now, just keep in mind that these are the fees at the time of this recording. Things change. HOA fees typically go up. Now, just like Daybreak, they have service with First Digital Internet, and that is included in your HOA fee. And I say included because you don't have an option, like you have to pay it, but they break it down. So if you are in a single family home, depending on if you choose 1 gigabyte or 2 gigabytes of internet service, your HOA fee for a single family home is going to be $250 or about $283, again, depending on what internet service you select. Okay, and then in that townhouse fee, that includes, so you have your master HOA fee, and then they're charging $80 a month for something called the benefited service fee. So that's all part of that $305 or $338 per month for townhouses. That's included in there. Now, let's talk about what's going to cost you some big money here. Out here in Terraine, they have a public infrastructure fee, and we call it a PID fee. And they say that that pays into the Terraine legacy that you're going to be a part of. And so this is going to help cover that 200 plus acres of open space. Now, if you purchase a single family home, that PID fee, at the time of this recording, for a single family home, the PID fee is $9,850 when you buy. Now, I'm going to break this down a little bit further for you, but first let me talk about the townhouses. That PID fee is $5,800 right now. So they give you the option, if you cannot come up with that whole amount when you buy your home, which some of the builders are telling me they cannot cover that fee. It's written into their CC&Rs or whatever that the builder cannot cover that for you. So that is a fee that every buyer has to pay. And when I say every buyer, if you go to sell your house, that buyer has to pay it again. So they do break it down so you could include that monthly payment if you don't have the full lump sum at closing. So the way that breaks down is for a single family home, it's almost $61 extra per month on top of your HOA fee. Or a townhouse is about $36 per month on top of your HOA fee to pay that PID. So like I said, if you don't have the full $9,850 or $5,800, depending on single family or townhouse, you can do that monthly fee in addition to your HOA fee. Now, one thing to keep in mind, and this is a little bit of a skewed perspective, depending on who you speak to in Terraine. I have personally been told, and I didn't think it sounded right, so I went to the title company and got confirmation of the information I'm giving you. But if you sell your house before you pay that $9,850 or the $5,800, so that works out to be about 13 and a half years that you're going to be paying that PID fee to pay it in full. So if you sell your home before about 13 and a half years, you are still going to be responsible for the balance of that fee that you haven't paid. So let's just say, for argument's sake, you sell your house and you've only paid $3,000 of that fee at the time of closing on your house. At closing, the title company has been instructed, and what they've told me is that they will collect that remaining balance. So if you're a single family home and you've paid $3,000, you're going to have another $6,900 deducted at closing from the proceeds of your sale. Same thing with the townhouse, $5,800 minus $3,000, you're going to have a $2,800 balance deducted by the title company so that they can pay that remaining balance for you. So it does get costly and something you want to consider with resale, because this isn't a one-time fee. This is going to go on to the next buyer, from what I have been told. It's not just a one and done type. It's going to be the longevity of the community. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you're interested in taking a look at Terraine, any of the model homes, anything like that, reach out to me. I'd love to connect with you. Just keep in mind, you do have to have your agent with you at the first home visit of a model home if you want your own representation. So call or text me. That is the best way to reach me. But as always, make it a great day.